Hello everyone, welcome back to the Beck Collection YouTube channel. Today we're talking about our 1945 International K-7. I've done a couple videos on this truck before, but I never did like a full explanation of what the story behind it is and where we got it and what we want to do with it. So today I thought I'd talk to you for a while about the history of this truck, the goals for it, and where it is now. So here's a little bit of the history of this truck. This truck was bought brand new in 1945 by my great-grandpa Howard Beck, where he used it in a fleet of 5 trucks, all internationals, until the early 70s. After his death in 1974, the truck got sold to our relatives in Sturgis, South Dakota, and they used it to haul cattle back and forth to summer pasture for a while until the late 80s, I think. And then the truck sat in a half enclosed shed in the pasture until 2019 when we brought it home. So when we got it, the engine was stuck on the truck, and so we popped the fan belt off and took this tool, which I think I'm gonna call chain pliers, I guess. It's vice grips with a bike chain on the end of it. We wrapped it around the harmonic balancer down here, and by then I was able to wiggle it enough and it popped loose. So then we ended up actually taking the nose cone and the head off of the engine to clean up the cylinders and make sure everything was working on the inside. We put a new manifold gasket on it and then put her back together. And then of course we had to rebuild the carburetor and the fuel pump, carburetor over there and then the fuel pump down here. And so we got it running in the summer of 2020, and I'll post a link to that video right here. So over the next couple of years after that, we did some minor things to it. We replaced the glass in the passenger side window that had been cracked. We've actually got all new glass for it, a new windshield, back window that we'll put in someday. Then also, look in here, we put some new foam in the seats. We had some foam out of school bus seats that we put in there, and that worked nicely. Redid this 2-speed cable linkage there, put a new cable on that, and just some other minor things around the truck. And then last year in the summer of 2023, we took off the wheels and we replaced the front wheel cylinders and got the brakes working on the front of it at least. We did do some work on the back. We had a set of cylinders, but they were the wrong size, and so we've got the right size cylinders actually in the mail right now. And so with the front brakes at least, we were able to take it to the South Dakota State Fair last year and also a local car show. And so those were the 2 events we got it to last year before it got to the end of the season. It was parked inside. And so then we went to get it out this spring or early summer for the Huron Area Antique Power Association show. But we came across a couple issues with the truck when we went to go start it, so I'll tell you about those. First off, we had if you come over here, this is the tank that was on there for a gas tank. It's just a barrel that was kind of retrofitted to be a gas tank. And they used the existing straps and kind of just stretched them into place to hold the tank on. And that tank had some rust chunks in the bottom of it. And so we decided we better do something about that before we go taking it down the road. And so when we went to go take the fitting off of the barrel, it sprung a leak. And so we went looking for another tank to replace it. And that led us to this. It's a gas tank off of a Farmall F20, which actually fit pretty nice on there and kind of matched the patina of the truck. But when we went to go turn the gas on for the sediment bowl underneath there. It also sprung a leak. And so we didn't end up taking it to the Huron Area Antique Power Association show this year. But we did find another gas tank for it, and I'll show you that here. So this gas tank here, we found at an auction sale. It's actually off of a later international truck, and it's a 30-gallon tank, I believe. And so we've got all the hardware to put that in place. We've got the mounting brackets and the straps for it. And so we'll be putting that on soon. So this truck actually has 3 fuel tanks. It's got 2 that mount to the sides like saddle tanks. This one has seen its better days, so we're thinking about either having someone build either 1 or 2, so that we can have matching ones. And then there's one under the seat. And so it holds a lot of gas, but it drinks a lot of gas too. Speaking of the gas drinker, let's take a look at the power plant here. This is International Black Diamond 308. Originally, this truck came with a Blue Diamond 269, but since this truck and the ones that my great grandpa used got ran so much, they actually wore out. I think this might be the 3rd engine in this truck. The Blue Diamond got wore out, and then they put a Black Diamond in it, and it got wore out too. So when my great grandpa owned the truck, he had his name on the door, but when they sold that to our cousins in Sturgis, they had to take the name and the numbers off the door for legal licensing reasons, I guess. And so what we're thinking of doing is getting a magnet to fit over the door with the original lettering on it, because the KB6 International that my great grandpa had still has the lettering on the doors, and I think that we can reproduce a magnet to go on there. When we were preparing this truck to go to the tractor show earlier this summer, we decided to do some cosmetic work on it, and so we buffed the paint. We've got some 3M rubbing compound. Removes heavy oxidation, light to medium scratches, and water spots. So we took some of that, and I think this is original paint on the cab, and it sure shined up nice. I know the wheels and I think the frame have been repainted on this truck, but I think the cab might be original. Don't quote me on that, but it sure shined up nice, and we like the look of it now. So we have a couple of short-term / long-term goals for this truck, depending on how fast we get the work done. But anyway, once we get the rear brakes the rest of the way fixed, the fuel tank installed, we want to put a kill switch on the battery so we don't have to worry about unhooking the battery every time to prevent fire, replacing like the cab liner and some cosmetic stuff, just getting it driving again. The brake booster will need rebuilt, but once we get all of that done, our goals will be to have it at the tractor show, of course, at the local 4th of July parade, the parade of lights in the wintertime, and then of course the 2026 National Red Power Roundup, which will be coming to Huron, South Dakota, which is right in our backyard. And so that will hopefully be a cornerstone of the display there. We're hoping to have a lot of trucks and a lot of vehicles. So if you have an IH vehicle, mark your calendars for June of 2026 in Huron, South Dakota. And then some longer distance goals would be to have it at the South Dakota IH Scout and Truck Club show in Rutland, South Dakota, hopefully next year. And then we someday want to take it back out to Sturgis and get the 30-foot Wilson stock trailer that came with the truck originally. We have that, but it's out at Sturgis, and so that will be a fun trip, taking this all the way out to the hills and back with the trailer. We'll have to do some work on the towing equipment, of course, but stay tuned for that. We'll keep you updated on it. Thanks everyone for watching, and have a great day.